All right, this is a pretty embarrassing story. I haven't shared with a lot of people, at least not on video or not in public, I think. I used to work at a luau. So let me kind of take you back a little bit. Growing up, of course, I'm Hawaiian. I'm mostly Hawaiian. So my grandpa was 100% Hawaiian. I got over 50% Hawaiian. I got other nationalities too. And as a Hawaiian, you expect Hawaiians to do certain things, right? We know how to surf. We're good watermen. We're all these things. However, we're not these things unless we're taught it. So if we weren't taught by our parents growing up or our siblings, then of course we don't know how to do it. Hence the story I'm about to tell you. I worked in the lifeguarding / first aid department. And one of the things that we did was we paddled guests of the luau. We paddled the guests on a canoe in a small little lagoon. And we paddled them around. We talk stories with them. We'd throw net. We'd show them all these things. Long story short, one of the things when I first got there, when I first was hired, one of the things I had to learn how to do was paddle a canoe because I wasn't taught how to paddle canoe growing up. I knew how to swim. I was a great swimmer. I could bodyboard, but never was taught how to paddle a canoe. So, when I was learning it, my boss at the time told me, okay, the ama is the floating part of the canoe, okay? So you're here in the canoe, this is the ama. Do not let the ama, the lightest part of the canoe, do not let it face the waves. You either gotta be facing the wave or you gotta be having your back face towards the wave to where you're not gonna get flipped over, because if the wave hits the ama, you're gonna flip over. Pretty simple, right? To a 20-something-year-old, a cocky 20-something-year-old that thinks, I got this down. Let me just try this. What's the worst that can happen? So we go out on a canoe. I go out with these two huge guys from some foreign country. I think it's Brazil or Spain. I don't know. Two huge guys. They got their drinks. They're having a good time. We're going to canoe. Okay? We're starting to turn around in the lagoon. The lagoon goes this way. And then we come back around and we go into shore. We're turning. The ama's here. I'm here. Wave is coming. It's not going to end good. And I'm thinking, okay, I know I'm supposed to do this. But, sometimes when you're young, you're just dumb or you just don't want to listen, right? Ama's here. Wave's coming. Boom. Flips over. We got hundreds, maybe even 1,000 people in the luau. They're all waiting on shore, along with my coworkers. They're watching us. We flip over. Both guys with their drinks go into the water. I go in, and as I'm swimming up to the top, it's one of those moments where you're thinking, I am so dead. I am so dead when I come back up. Everything went into slow motion. Luckily, the two guys were okay. They were laughing. I think they were drunk. They were laughing. They were having a good time. I said, you guys don't understand. My boss is going to kill me when I get back there. And it was a mess. We're talking about hundreds of people watching. My staff had to come out with the lifeguard tube. They came out, and it was a mess. I messed up royally. But it was one of the best things that could have happened to me because it made me determined more than ever to learn it. And there was no excuse of, I didn't grow up with it, Hey, you know what? We didn't grow up learning how to drive, but we got our license, right? I had to learn it. And every day after that, I'd be walking to work and I'd see the waves hitting the lagoon and I'd be so nervous. I would be nervous and my heart beating and I'm like, oh, please. Every single day at work, I'd be like, oh no, don't let this happen again. Imagine going to work fearful of being in a canoe and being flipped over. That was scary. But I would go 2 to 3 hours before work. I'd come to work early and I would practice paddling. I would swim, I would do my workout, but I would constantly, every single day, I would come, practice how to paddle, practice how to turn the canoe, all the things that I should have learned growing up, but I didn't. And then finally, I got it down. And I was able to work still, not get fired. And I was able to paddle our customers and get them back to shore in one piece. So, the lesson of this, and I've said this to many interns that I've had, I said, no matter how much you think you messed up, okay, this is the first lesson. No matter how much you think you messed up, there's always someone out there, me, that has messed up way worse than you. That should make you feel better. That should make you feel like you're not the biggest failure in the world. Number two, if you want it bad enough, work at it. Not everything is going to be perfect. We all have those friends where they do everything perfectly. They can do no wrong. They get things down right away. And then there's people like me and maybe you, the underdogs, the ones that are a little clumsy, the ones that, we don't learn things right away. We need a little more practice. But if you put in that dedication, guys, if you put in that work and you put in that time, you can learn almost anything. You can get it down. It doesn't matter if you screwed up, if you failed, heck, it makes for a good story. I'm pretty sure those two guys went back to Spain or wherever they came from, and they'll never forget that experience. Don't be embarrassed. Don't let one bad incident, even though mine was the worst ever, don't let that hold you back from really achieving greatness. Don't let that hold you back from learning something, getting better at something, because everybody starts off somewhere. So you got to start off somewhere, but if you want it bad enough, you can learn and you can do almost anything. So I'm now going to turn this off because I'm officially embarrassed and I don't ever want to talk about this story again. But hope you guys got some entertainment out of it and you got a few takeaways. All right, guys. See you on the next episode.